Alright, what we're going to cover today, well, first of all, the assignment that I sent you the other day was, I sent the wrong thing. Apologize, hang on to that though, and we'll probably get to it next chapter. So just hang on to it, don't throw it away, and then you'll already have it finished when we do get to it. This is what I meant to send to you, or send to you. What we're going to cover today, real estate taxes. Just this part, the insurance stuff we'll cover next time. So what we're going to go over is how to calculate the assessed value of a real estate, assessed value of real estate, and real estate taxes for a home. And then we'll get to this, like I said, we'll get to the insurance stuff next class, since we have these shortened classes. First thing, real estate taxes. Real estate taxes, taxes collected by city or county from homeowners to pay for roads, parks, schools, government offices, and other services. So all the taxes, any real estate tax that you pay is supposed to go to pay for all these things in your area. Usually real estate taxes are paid, you can pay them all at once, you can pay, one big lump sum per year, you can pay them quarterly, or you can pay them semi-annually, which is 2 payments per year, and then they'll set up stuff like that for you. That's something that you'd have to work out with the county. We talked about if you have a loan on your house, then you might have an escrow account, and this is one of those things that goes into that escrow account. So the bank or the loan company that is giving you the loan on the property will take money from you each month in your monthly payment, and then they'll put it in an account, and then they will pay the real estate taxes along with like the homeowner's insurance and different things through that. So that escrow account is where these taxes come from. So if you buy a house, you may not, for the first 20 years or however long you have your loan out for, you may not ever see the real estate taxes. But if you pay off that house, then you've got to remember to make your tax payments to the county or the city or whoever it is that you have to pay them to each time. The assessed value is the dollar value a tax assessor assigns to the property for taxation purposes. A lot of times you'll see cars, you may see a car driving around and they'll pull in your driveway and you'll see somebody walking around your house or something. Make sure you ask them, who they are and stuff. But a lot of times, every so many years, the county comes around and they assess the value of the property. So they give what they think the property is worth just by giving it a sort of quick once over. A lot of times, a few years ago, it's been about 10, 15 years ago now, they came around, assessed the property. A lot of people threw a fit because they thought that the assessment was way too high, that the properties really weren't worth that much. So the county sent around somebody else to reassess the properties. And that's where the amount of tax you pay comes from. The tax rate is the percent of income, sales, or property value collected. This time we're dealing with property value collected in taxes. The tax rate on property is sometimes expressed in mills, and we're going to talk about that. Mills, remember, a percent is like 100. So 1% is 1/100. Well, a mill is 1/1000. So a mill is 1/1000. And we'll talk about what to do with that way this is set up, your property is going to be assessed at a certain amount, and then there'll be a rate of that assessment. And we'll talk about those here in a second. But so you have your taxes, your assessed value, the value that they put on your property. So they might say that your property's worth $150,000 with all the house, barn, whatever else you have on it. And then from that, they'll get the tax rate that you're going to pay. Market value. The market value is the price at which a property can be bought or sold. So your assessed value, and this is what a lot of people said when I said that they went around and did it a couple times, when they went around and reassessed the properties. Your assessed value is different than your market value. Your assessed value is what they say it's worth. Your market value is what you could actually sell the property for, or what the property could be bought for. And those two should be fairly close, but sometimes they're a little different. The rate of assessment is the percent of a property's market value that is taxed. So a lot of the times, I can't remember what it is in Preble County right at the moment, but the rate of assessment might be 50%. That means that they're going to tax you only on 50% of your property's market, or of your property's value. All right, so they're not going to tax you on the whole value of the property. They're going to tax you on just 50%, or whatever that certain county or city's rate is. Two formulas. These are the two formulas that we're going to use. The assessed value is the market value times the rate of assessment. So if you know the market value, what the house could be sold at, then you're going to times it by some percent that is the set up percent for that certain county or city or whatever it happens to be. And that's going to give you your assessed value. Then to find your real estate tax, we take the assessed value, we take that answer that we got from up there, and we times it by the tax rate. Each county might, or each county or city might have a different tax rate. So the tax rate is just like sales tax or anything else, where Ohio is like 6 3/4% or 7%, whatever we're at right now. And Richmond is at a different percentage for sales tax. So each county, city has their own tax rate. And that tax rate is normally given in mills. So it might be something like 85 mills. Now with mills, anytime you see mills with percent, remember we got to bump the decimal 2 places. It's changed from a percent to a decimal 2 places to the left. With mills, we got to move the decimal 3 places to the left. So we're dividing by 1,000 is what we're doing. So if Preble County is 50 mil, then we would take that 50 and the decimals at the end, and we bump it 3 places to the left, and we get 0.050. Another example, if we have 2.5 mil, like I have in this example down here at the bottom, we bump it over 2 places, or 3 places, sorry, and we get 0.0025. So percent, you bump 2 places, mils, you bump 3 places. So we're gonna use those two formulas. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give you the assignment, but we're actually going to add a couple of problems to that, and we're gonna do them together here on this video. So what we're gonna do, the assignment's gonna be page 389, 1 through 12, but we're gonna skip number 5, and we're gonna do 1 through 4 together. So get your books out and just copy down what we do on 1 through 4, and then that'll help you with 6 through 12, and 6 through 12 is going to be what you need to do on your own. I put the two formulas up here that we need. So if we look at 1, 2, and 3, again, 1, 2, and 3, they just break it down. When you get to 4 and 6 through 12, you're going to have like 3 answers to each problem, or 3 parts to each problem. The tax rate from problems 1 through 3 is 65.50 mils. So this is for numbers 1, 2, and 3. 65.50 mils. The market value is 70,000, so the market value of the house that we're dealing with, or the property we're dealing with, is $70,000. And the rate of assessment is 40%. So we're going to use those 3 to answer the questions. Number 1 says, what's the assessed value? So we look right here at this first formula. Assessed value is the market value times the rate of assessment. So we take the market value, which is 70,000, and we're going to multiply that by the rate of assessment, which is 40%. Just don't get mils and percentages confused. 40%, we bump the decimal 2 places, so that's 0.40. We just bump it over 2 places there. It's 0.40. And to get the answer number 1, we're just going to multiply those 2. So you grab your calculator, 70,000 times 0.40, and that gives us about 28,000. So that's what they are going to, or that's the assessed value. That's sort of what they're going to tax you on. But that's the answer to number 1. Number 2 says find the tax rate as a decimal. Well, the tax rate comes from the mils right here. So all they're telling you to do in number 2 here is change that mils into a decimal form. And when you're changing mils into a decimal, you divide it by 1,000, which is the same as bumping the decimal 3 places to the left. So we get 0.0, we got to add a 0 in right here. 650, we really don't need that 0 on the end of this one. You do on money, remember you need to add that 0 if necessary, but this time it's sort of unnecessary. And your answer to number 2 is 0.065. Number 3, find the real estate tax. That's where we're going to use this second formula right here. So the real estate tax, we just take the tax rate, which is that 0.065 that we just found, and we're going to times it by the answer that we got in the first part up here, the 28,000. So I already have the 28,000 on my calculator. If you haven't cleared that, it's already on there on your calculator. So all you got to do is hit times 0.065, and we get 1820. That's how much real estate tax we're going to pay on that property. Now, when you do each problem, some of them they're going to want you to give all 3 answers. Some of them, you know, again, just like all the problems we've done all year long, they're just leading you through step by step how to find this final answer, how much tax you're actually going to pay. if I go too fast, just stop the video. I'm gonna erase some of this. Number 4, Peter and Kay pay annual real estate taxes of $3,270. The tax rate in their tax district is 62 mills, and the rate of assessment is 54%. What is the market value of the property? So this one, they're going backwards. So this one, they're working backwards. And I'll tell you what, we're gonna skip number 4 too. I didn't realize that they were working backwards on this. Let's jump to, I just wanna jump to one of the word problems. We'll do number 8 together. So you're gonna skip number 4 also. So these other problems are basically gonna be the same thing that we did 1, 2, and 3. Number 8, Brenda's home is located in Columbus, Ohio, where the rate of assessment is 35% of the market value. The tax rate is $59.56 per thousand, so that's just in mills, but they give it to you in dollars. If her home has a market value of $392,000, what are the assessed value and the property tax? So when they give you $59.56, that's the same thing as saying it in mills. That's the same as, well, that's actually per 1,000. So all that's doing, to take this and figure it out, you're just gonna divide that by 1,000 to change it into mills and change it into a decimal form that you can use. And that's just, you're still just gonna bump the decimal over 3 places, so it's 0.05956. So that's our mills, that's our tax rate. Part A, on number 8, says find the assessed value. Well, the assessed value, we take the market value times the rate of assessment. The market value this time was $392,000. And we're going to times that by the assessment rate, which they told us was 35%. So remember, with 35%, we bump that over 2 places, and it's 0.35 that we multiply by. So you grab your calculator, 392,000 times 0.35, and I get 137,200. That's the answer to part A. That's the market value, or I'm sorry, that's the assessed value of their house. Then to get part B, you take the tax rate, which is this number, but we want it as a decimal in mills there. So we take 0.05956 and we times it by this answer that we got right here, which is 137,200. And I already have that number on my calculator, so I just hit times 0.05956, and I end up with 1,871.632. This is in money, so we're gonna round it off. And I can't say for sure, because I don't know how each county or whatever does it, but that 2 tells us to leave the 3 the same. So if we're using the math rules, then your taxes should be that amount. I'm guessing that the county is probably, just like a grocery store or something would, they're probably gonna round up regardless and take that extra penny from you. So either one of those answers would be acceptable. So the rest of your assignment, you're gonna do problem 6, problem 7, problem 9, 10, 11, and 12. 6 problems there. Using, again, just using these 2 formulas is what you're using on all of them.